Chapter 35. Death from Above. Fire raged all over the city as radio connection was established once more. Sidewinder, this is Briar Patch. I need your guidance for further fire. Over. Todd's voice carried through the frequency, the sound waves. Karnak, his every nerve pulled tight, his mind overflowing with strategy and anticipation, responded, Briar Patch, this is Sidewinder. Transmit the coordinates. Over. The seconds between the end of a transmission to a response lingered, till Todd's voice cut through the static. Sidewinder. Coordinates 3864390589. Over. Karnak's pencil raced with a controlled urgency, the numbers etched rapidly. A swift nod sent the runner, his every step a dance with fate, toward the mortar platoon with the newly acquired coordinates. As the mortar crew aligned their weapons with the new coordinates, the platoon leader's hand sliced the air. Fire! Mortars pierced the heavens with a deafening roar, the horizon absorbing the explosive canisters of retaliation. Karnak's gaze remained locked on the unfolding ballet, even after they couldn't be traced. Adjust fire, drop 200! Todd's voice called back from the midst of a devastated city. Karnak's command sent another runner sprinting, the new adjustment. The ensuing moments were a ballet of precision, the mortar crew aligning the weapon with the adjustments followed by commands of Fire! Then the long wait as they sought confirmation. Target neutralized, Sidewinder. Todd's voice, a dance of relief and lingering tension, resonated through the frequency. Karnak's response was that of acknowledgement and silent salute. Understood, Briar Patch. Sidewinder out. His grip on the radio tightened momentarily, the air absorbing the unspoken hymn of triumph and vigilance, his eyes sweeping the horizon as he initiated another radio communication. Sidewinder to Briar Patch and Briar Patch Alpha. Do you copy? Over? The pregnant silence stretched thin before Todd's voice cut through the radio waves. This is Briar Patch. Lima Charlie. Sidewinder. Over? Kate's voice followed, steady yet laden with an underlying tension. Briar Patch Alpha here. Lima Charlie. Sidewinder. Over. Karnak's tone was a mesh of stern caution. Listen up. You have to watch your six. Chinese forces will be on the hunt after the strikes on this fourth target. The area will be swarming with hostiles. Stay sharp and keep your eyes peeled, head on a swivel. Over. Todd's response was presented with a tinge of hardened acknowledgement. Acknowledged, Sidewinder. We're moving with caution and have our eyes wide open. We'll remain vigilant. Over. Kate's voice weaved through the airwaves, a blend of alertness and assurance. Copy that, Sidewinder. Briar Patch Alpha is on high alert. We'll keep our guard up and watch every corner. Over. Karnak's reply was a subtle infusion of steadfastness. Good. Stay safe and keep me posted on every movement. We can't afford any surprises. And remember, use the terrain to your advantage. Stay unseen, and keep noise discipline. Sidewinder out. The radio fell silent, the echoes of the conversation a lingering whisper in the breeze, each word a shadow of caution on the unseen battlefields of vigilance. Karnak, his silhouette cast against the somber skyline, waited for the radio to spring to life with the voices of his operatives. After a moment's pause, Kate's voice broke the silence, the static hissing like the whispers of unseen phantoms. Sidewinder, this is Briar Patch Alpha. We have eyes on Chinese forces. They are rounding up civilians using UN buses. Over. Karnak's fists clenched involuntarily, his mind racing with the implications. What's the situation, Briar Patch Alpha? Over. They seem to be transporting them south. It doesn't look good, Sidewinder. We fear the worst. I suggest Gabe, Darian, and I follow them, see where they are taking these people. Todd can hold the fort with Ken and Cameron. Over. A calculating pause of silence teetering on the edge of anticipation before Todd's voice interjected with a tone laced in strategic concurrence. I second that, Sidewinder. We can maintain our position here. Keep the Chinese forces under observation. Over. Karnak, his mind a whirlpool of strategy, deliberated briefly. Proceed with caution, Briarpatch Alpha. Keep a low profile, stay out of sight, and report any findings immediately. Briarpatch, maintain vigilance and keep me posted on every movement. Sidewinder out. With her team in silent agreement, Kate, Gabe, and Darian moved swiftly, shadows blending with shadows, eyes fixed on the buses disappearing in the southern distance. The journey was a hushed odyssey, their footsteps that of urgent pursuit, the landscape an unfolding path of hidden dangers. Without transportation, it was a relentless pursuit of answers as her team vanished from Todd's sight. Towering remnants of the once thriving city were their concealment as Todd, Ken, and Cameron moved with guarded precision, the eerie silence punctuated by their hushed footsteps. Every sense was on high alert, ears tuned to the whispers of the wind, eyes scanning the skeletal outlines of buildings, their fingers resting lightly on the triggers. A sudden flurry of activity drew their focus, the gleam of weaponry hidden among the ruins revealing the lurking presence of the Chinese forces. Todd's eyes narrowed, recognizing the strategic placement, an ambush lying in wait. "Damn it," he murmured, his hand clutching the radio. "Brewer Regiment, this is Briarpatch. Be advised, we have eyes on a potential ambush set up for 2nd Platoon, Delta Company at coordinates 38369026. Proceed with extreme caution. Over." The response came swift. "Acknowledged, Briarpatch. We're on the move. Over." Todd, Ken, and Cameron watched, their hearts racing, as 2nd Platoon of Brewer Regiment moved with coordinated agility, circling the ambush with the ferocity of a predator. The surprise was on their side now, the tables turned in a dance of strategy and power. The silence was shattered by the unmusicality of gunfire. The area erupted in a frenzy of battle, each shot a note of survival. The city ruins bore witness to the overwhelming fury of the 2nd Platoon. Todd's voice was a whisper, a quiet homage to the brave souls fighting beneath them. "Stay strong. Overwatch. Over." The radio crackled again, the voice of the Brewer Regiment filled with the essence of hard-fought victory. "Briarpatch, this is Brewer Regiment. Ambush neutralized. Many thanks. Over." Todd's grip tightened on the radio, the realization of the difference they made in this moment of battle sinking in. "You fought well, Brewer Regiment. Stay sharp and stay alive. Briarpatch out." All around them they could feel lingering tension, the fate of battles whispering through the ruins. With sounds of the distant battle faded, each looked to the other from their high location as quiet hum of distant engines transformed rapidly into the deafening roar of aircraft tearing through the sky above. Todd, Cameron, and Ken, previously shrouded in the relative security of their hidden overwatch, felt their breaths catch in their throats as L-15 jets swooped in, relentless and deadly, in their aerial assault. The once seemingly stable position of the 2nd Platoon transformed into a hellish inferno within seconds. Fire and smoke billowed upwards, encasing the area in a furious dance of destruction. The horrifying spectacle left a haunting silhouette against the sky, embers igniting the heavens in their mournful flight. Todd's heart pounded violently against his chest, his fists clenched, the sheer powerlessness in the face of such overwhelming destruction cutting through him like a blade. His eyes, fixated on the fiery demise of valiant warriors, shimmered with unshed tears, a silent tribute to the fallen. The radio, previously a source of coordinated unity and strategic communication, erupted into chaotic discord. Voices, imbued with pain, desperation, and fear, layered over one another, creating a haunting of suffering. Reports of casualties intermingled with urgent calls for extraction and reinforcement, each word a harrowing reminder of the relentless onslaught they faced. Todd's voice, strained and laden with the weight of sorrow, cut through the chaos. "Briarpatch to all units. Maintain radio discipline. Over." The sky, now darkened by the shadow of IV Z-10 attack helicopters, carried the harbingers of further destruction, their presence amplifying the torture pleas through the airwaves. The incessant hum of their rotors was a morbid melody accompanying the repetitive sounds of explosions and gunfire. Cameron and Ken, their faces frozen with the anguish of witnessing the fall of their comrades, stood in solemn solidarity with Todd, their eyes scanning the horizon for signs of impending danger. The devastating symphony of warfare unfolded around them, each moment stretching into eternity as they clung to the hope of endurance in this dance with death. Relentless harmony of destruction painted the skies, a brutal fate of the fallen as their silent sentinels. Todd, Cameron, and Ken lay in this theater of despair, their eyes bearing witness to the unfolding horror, an image of fallen comrades forever carved in their souls. The feeling of helplessness clung to them like a shadow, a silent, merciless tormentor whispering the pain of inaction in their ears. The unseen enemy had revealed its fiery wings, fighter jets and helicopters, cutting through the air with predatory precision, dealing death from above. The knowledge that these were present, concealed until now, sunk its claws deeper into their spirits, the feeling of anger boiling within their veins. In a heartbeat, the fleeting security they had found atop the ruined building was shattered. The sudden fury of a Z-10 helicopter gunning towards them ripped through the air, transforming their position into a hailstorm of deadly fire. Adrenaline and survival instinct kicked in as they scrambled down the skeletal structure, the once solid building now a crumbling monument to the relentless power of war. Bullets and debris danced around them, a chaotic ballet of destruction. The ground beneath their feet seemed to shake in fear, reflecting the storm unfolding above. They burst from the building, each stride a desperate bid for survival, their breaths coming in sharp, strained gasps. Across the once vibrant street, the husk of what used to be a supermarket invited them in, for a fleeting promise of shelter. Its stripped bare shelves whispered tales of desolation, its hollow walls marked with horrific signs of the times. They sought refuge within its abandoned embrace, the structure a grim remnants of the life that once flowed through its aisles. As they pressed themselves against the cold, silent walls, the radio crackled to life, the voice of Karnak piercing the suffocating chaos of transmissions. The conversation was a relentless cascade of grief and request that could not be filled. Reports of casualties interlaced with desperate pleas for reinforcements reverberating through the unseen corridors of the radio waves. Each word from Karnak was a reminder of the relentless onslaught their brethren were facing. The words flowed around them, a somber song expressing the raw pain imbued in each syllable. Todd, his heart weighed with the unrelenting agony of loss and the fervor of the will to endure, clenched the radio tightly, his eyes meeting those of his comrades. "What is it?" Todd asked, noticing Ken's eyes dart off into the distance. Silence draped over Todd, Cameron, and Ken like a somber cloak, the tangible shadow of vigilant eyes and cautious breaths. In this realm of poised nerves and hushed heartbeats, Ken's eyes flickered with a glint of alerted attention, a fleeting ghost dancing outside the grimy window. His hands, instruments of silent communication, conveyed the scene unfolding beyond their shelter. Every muscle tensed, every sense heightened. Todd mirrored Ken's gaze, the world outside unfolding in fragments. A dance of silhouettes weaved their silent tale. Chinese forward observers, the unseen orchestrators, were revealed. Todd's hands moved with calculated precision, his signals silent, guiding his team. The air around them hummed. Every step was forward in the concealed dance of pursuit. The city around them concealed their footsteps as they kept to the shadows. The Chinese team, unsuspecting maestros in this hidden theater, settled in the skeletal embrace of a ruined building. Their shapes, fragmented outlines against the dying light, were engraved in the attentive gazes of Todd's team. It was then that Todd, moved calculating each step, led his team forth, darkness woven around them like spectral armor. The climb through the building was a dance with the tension of unseen eyes and muted heartbeats. Each step, a silent prayer in the labyrinth, carried them closer to their unsuspecting prey. The air was tense. A silent battle of survival hung between the grim walls. Todd, Ken, and Cameron, unseen predators in this urban jungle, encircled their prey with lethal precision. The Chinese observers, unaware of the impending doom, continued their operations. The stalking silence was like a tightly wound spring, loaded with deadly intent. Todd's gestures were brief, a silent communication in the language of warriors. The trio moved decisively, their bodies tight with suppressed adrenaline. With the precision of a hawk descending upon its prey, Todd led the assault. The atmosphere burst into chaos as the trio emerged from their concealed positions. The fleeting moment hung, laden with imminent death and unstoppable fury. The clash was swift, brutal. The observers had no chance to react, no moment to comprehend the sudden storm that engulfed them. Steel met flesh, bullets pierced the stagnant air, finding their marks with unerring accuracy. The struggle was fleeting, an ephemeral confrontation in the vast theater of war. The Chinese observers met their end, faces etched with the final realization, bodies succumbing to the abrupt violence that marked their last moments. The room became a silent witness to the brutality of survival. Todd, Cameron, and Ken scanned their surroundings, senses heightened, ready for the next confrontation. The fallen observers lay still, the only remnants of their existence the lingering scent of gunpowder and the stain of battle. Now, in the relative sanctuary of their elevated location, Todd, Ken, and Cameron could see the relentless torment unfold. The northern horizon was ablaze, each streak of fiery descent a harbinger of doom to Sam and his RAA below. With eliminating the forward observers and their laser-guided system for the L-15 jets in their sector, the enemy's assault only seemed to gain a monstrous momentum, enveloping the north in a relentless devastation. Each explosion marked a new wound upon the land. The sky was a canvas of chaos, jets carving paths of destruction, their payloads of death descending upon the embattled defenders with unremitting fury. From this storm of conflict, Karnik's voice cut through the ether. The stress in his tone was profound, each word a plea, a demand, a directive laced with the weight of countless lives hanging in the balance. Condor, this is Sidewinder. We need those strikes now. The UCM lines are faltering. We're on the brink. Initiate your assault. We need support before we're overrun. The radio crackled, a tense silence hovering in the charged air as everyone waited for Jackson's response. The seconds dragged, each tick a pulse in the battle's relentless heartbeat. The silence was a suffocating void, filled with the sounds of soldiers fighting, dying, holding on to the last strands of hope.